The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets are taking quite the gamble on their roster going into training camp. We'll tell you what that gamble is and why it actually could pay off for Aaron Glenn. That and more. Dylan Tereman's going to join us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Thursday, show number 2 on the day. We gave you Matt O'Leary on the first show. How about another fantastic Jets content creator on our second show? He's a fellow Asmaniac. The great Dylan Tereman joins us now. DT, welcome aboard, my friend. Appreciate you hopping on.
Appreciate you having me again. Asmaniacs, what's up? I tried to do my best wearing very white and light colored clothing so I don't look so pale today. So hoping I look a little bit better this week. You
always look good in my book, Dylan. You really do. So I don't listen to the haters. All right. That's my piece of advice. Now I do have a serious question for you though, right? I mean, you know, you're a big time supporter of my channel. You're a frequent guest, of course. You come on every week. You're a big part of our draft coverage. You obviously know this community well. When are you getting an Asmaniac tattoo on your body?
Ooh, man. I mean, I don't know if I want the Jets one. I mean, the Asmaniac one looks real nice, and shout out to Jerry for this. I mean, this is so cool. I mean, to take the picture like seconds after it looks like it was done too. It's all bumped and bloody. I mean, that's awesome. Oh, hell yeah. That's good positioning too, right in the middle.
On the back, man. Crazy.
That probably hurt on the spine. I have a double necklace, they call it. It's 2 lines worth of words on my chest. And I was 135 pounds when I got that one done. And I haven't gotten a tattoo since because the spine hurts, the chest hurts. So shout out to Jerry. I don't know if I can get an Asmaniac or a Jets tattoo. They gotta win something of relevance first, right?
That's how I feel. I mean, look, the Jets have caused me enough pain. So, like, I can't comprehend allowing them to cause more pain to my body by their logo on permanently. I can't do it, but God bless Jerry Jet, Mimosa's brother, as I learned live during the first show today. Just shout out to Mimosa and Jerry. They're both awesome, and I still cannot believe that someone actually would tattoo our silly logo onto their body, but we got the best listeners, and as I always say, one day, I hope the Jet organization will go out there and actually give their loyal customers a real season because, gosh, do we deserve it? They don't deserve the loyalty that they have from us, but, you know, hopefully Aaron Glenn is the right guy to steer this ship and get us on the right track. Now, speaking of Glenn, I want to dive into something that I first saw on Twitter yesterday. So here's not that, but this is still very cool. Here is a chart that breaks down the average player age on every roster in the NFL. And if you could see here, this is as big as I can make it. The Jets go into training camp with the second youngest team in the league. Now, this to me is notable because if you go back to last year, the Jets last season were the 3rd oldest roster. That's just one season ago. So that is a significant turnaround to go from 3rd oldest in football to 2nd youngest in football going into training camp. Now, of course, maybe things change if they add a veteran or two, all that. But either way, Dylan, it is clear Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are betting on a youth movement being the thing that's going to steer this team going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a video a couple weeks ago talking about the youth movement, and I gave my top 10 players under 26 years old because 26 doesn't seem like it's that old, but in football terms, I mean, Quinn Williams is 27, right? So he didn't make the cut. But the amount of good, talented players. I was able to make a top 10, and I didn't even put Olu Fashanu on there. He was the honorable mention. So it's like, maybe to some on the outside, going younger doesn't necessarily seem like a good strategy in terms of short-term winning and success. But to me, when you look at the pieces that they brought in and then the pieces that they still have, there is a path for this not to be just a good 2025, but a good 3 or 4 year stretch to begin the Glenn and Muji era. And I look at that list too, and the second highest is our week 1 opponent, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's no coincidence that Aaron Rodgers is on teams that are just old in age, right? Because that's more of his preference. He doesn't like young guys. He wants to have the older guys that are trying to make that final push before they retire. But with the Jets, you see the upside from being the second youngest team, and it's only a quarter of a year, I believe, between us and the Packers. So we're really like just about the youngest team in the league. And there's upside for us to not be the worst team in the league. And usually those things try to correlate, or people try to correlate those two things. But to me, I just see it as so much more upside having younger, talented players. And yes, you have to thread the needle on guys like Andre Sisco and get him back to his 2022 or 2023 form and, kind of erase the down year he had in 2024. But if you could do that with 65% of the guys on this roster, there's going to be so much more success than that 5.5 win total.
Well, the key is, right, when you do this, and they let a lot of veterans walk, everyone's going to talk about Rodgers, but Devontae as well, Kinlaw, Morgan Moses, and I'm not even saying these guys are all really good players that I'm mentioning. Just
Mosley.
Just you look at the names that aren't here and why the average age is brought down. They could have replaced those guys with veterans, but they chose not to. They specifically targeted guys that were just going into what would be their second contracts. You brought up Sisco. That's a great example of a guy that is still young. You look at Justin Fields even. I mean, we're talking about a quarterback that's 26 years old. So in theory, he's able to still enter his prime if he could be your long-term guy, if that's best case scenario. So there was a clear strategy to go with the youth movement, which can work as long as, one, you have a really good coaching staff that could take maybe guys that other teams have passed off and you're able to develop them and harness them and get the most out of them. And then two, this is not something we'll see this year, but next year as the Jets start to play the comp pick game, like successful organizations in the NFL, Philadelphia, Baltimore, etc., they're kings at this. The Jets are trying to play that game as well. That's on now Glenn and Muji to hit on those picks because that's how you're churning over your roster and staying young and having cost-controlled players with those extra picks you're turning them into.
Yeah, it's certainly, I guess, efficient roster building for all those reasons, because not only can you make it work with these guys in the short term, but then if they end up exceeding expectations and you really can't afford to pay all these guys, you, like you said, you let them go for a comp pick and then you supplement in the draft and you get more young guys to come in and replace them. And I think that's how you should want to do it, right? You shouldn't want to just collect a bunch of old aging players who the injury risk first and foremost, but also it's like now you've pushed all the chips into the middle of the table. And we saw what happened with the Jets the last 2 years when they've done that. It doesn't always work. And sometimes it really bottoms out. So it's really tough to disagree with the movement. And then you look at the three guys over 30. It's Josh Reynolds, who's exactly 30, Thomas Hennessy, who's 31, and Tyrod Taylor, who's 35. Josh Reynolds is going to have a predominant role, we assume, maybe wide receiver 2 or pass catcher number 2, maybe pass catcher number 3 on the team. Thomas Hennessy, although he does play a starting role at left long snapper, he's not like a vital position, right? It's obviously it sucks when he's not there, but then Tyrod Taylor is a backup quarterback. So you're really not getting much out of your 30 and up guys anyway. So it's really putting the emphasis on these, 28 and younger guys to really, hit the ground running with this new regime. And I think most of them can do it.
I'm just curious, Dylan, do you have your top 10 players under 26 and under handy?
I can pull it up. I deleted the Google slide, but I know I can pull it up if you give me a couple seconds.
Well, I'll tell you what, you do that, and I'll tell the audience about a daily raffle we're going to do at the end of the show. On the first show today, we did our first ever 2 raffle prizes in show. We honored Jet legend Jerry Philbin, who unfortunately passed away yesterday at the age of 83. Philbin, of course, part of the Jets Super Bowl III championship team. So let's do this. A Joe Willie Namath replica Super Bowl III ring. We gave one of these out the other day. We'll give another one of these out at the end of the show. All you need to do to be entered in the raffle is gift a membership. In fact, I got the ring right here. It looks great in the man cave. And I'll tell you what, as someone who's been around a lot of like replica rings in Houston, the Astros would always do World Series replica ring nights. This is a lot better. The quality is a lot better than the plastic that the Astros would give away a couple of years ago when I had to talk about it on the radio because they'd pay me to read the copy for it. So gift away if you want in. And a huge shout out to Janice Jet, longtime Jet fan. She's the first to gift. And how about a 10 spot of channel memberships from Janet?
It's the AsmanJake membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Janice is in for 10, and she's also in our weekly raffle, which for those tuning in for the first time this week, that will be on Monday, and it features a signed Aaron Glenn jersey, signed Justin Fields jersey, and a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. I also would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge 6 rings. He's at it again. He gifted a channel membership. This Patriots fan will not go away. And let me just say this. We cannot allow a Patriots fan to win a Broadway Joe Namath replica ring. So please, everyone, call in today, earn a raffle ticket, gift away, super chat, etc. We cannot let 6 rings win this ring. Can't do
I
it.
have a proposition for 6 rings. If he finds a YouTube channel that is Patriots centric and he shows it to me, I will gift him a membership as long as he wants on that channel.
It's unreal. You can't make it up. And by the way, for those who saw the first show today, where 6 rings again got into it with Beastbreaker in the chat, and Dave Brigga called in. Dave Brigga wants me to charge 6 rings $100 per appearance on the show. He gifted that one membership, and Dave Brigga immediately wrote, Pat's 12, one membership, not enough.
You're underachieving, according to Brigga.
Unbelievable. Hey, shout out to Jess. She doesn't want 6 rings to get a Jets Super Bowl ring. She gifted 5 channel memberships. Jess, I'm glad you figured out how to gift. Appreciate your support as always. All right, Dylan, did I give you enough time to pull up your list? We're talking about the youth movement on the Jets, and it's fitting because on Dylan's YouTube channel, which everyone should go and subscribe to, you did a very similar topic. So give us that top 10 list.
Yeah, I gave the top 10 players under 26. So again, it's going to exclude players like Quincy and Quinnen, that range of players. So my honorable mention is Olu Fashanu, and it's just more so the body of work and the sample size just wasn't enough for me to put him on the list. I had AVT at 10, Cisco at 9, and I know I'm higher than him on most people. Fields at 8, mostly because of positional value. Sherwood at 7, Will McDonald at 6, Breece at 5, Michael Carter at 4, Jermaine Johnson at 3, Garrett at 2, and Sauce at 1.
Interesting that you went Sauce over Garrett, despite the fact Sauce coming off, for his standards, down year. Garrett has been pretty much consistent through his first 3.
Yeah, I mean, Sauce's statistics still keep him in the top 15 of cornerbacks last year and most metrics that are, important. So to me, you have the 2 All-Pros in your back pocket already. I understand it's a down year. He himself admitted to not necessarily being mentally checked out on a Deontay Johnson level, but he was checked out a little bit mentally where the tackling definitely took a hit. Obviously, just his willingness to come up and play in the run took a hit. So I just believe more that he's going to come back and be more of the all-pro. But until, Garrett, really booms and goes for 13, 14, 1,500 yards, it's hard to, surpass Sauce as the number 1 player. And Sauce might be the number 1 player on this entire team, not just of the 26 and under crowd.
What's your confidence level in Sauce being the player we saw his first 2 years now with Glenn and this coaching staff here?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd put it at a 7, maybe 7.5. I think the combination of him being more on an island, and I'm not saying he's only going to be on an island, every single snap, but in week 1, if he's, one-on-one with DK Metcalf 70 or 80% of the time, and then the rest are in zone and he's just on the opposite side of the field or whatever, I think that'll be better for him as the type of player that he is. Obviously, my biggest concern with him is turning his head around about 2 yards quicker to locate the football, because I know he plays through the hands of the receiver, which is a great technique, and it's not the wrong technique. Some coaches coach to turn around, but when you turn your head, you do lose that half a step of speed. So I understand the Salo regime wanted him to play through the hands of the receiver, and he did it perfectly. But with his size and his length, if he could turn around, locate the football just 2 yards sooner, I think he could get 4 or 5 interceptions. Granted, he's targeted at a normal cornerback rate. If he goes back to 2022, 2023, where they're barely even targeting him, obviously the production's going to be low. But I do think schematically, the man-to-man with Sauce is going to help him tremendously.
Garrett at number 2, no issue with that. You've had some good comps for what a contract for Garrett could look like. I'll ask you about Sauce as well. If you're Darren Muji, you're on the phone with Sauce and Garrett's agents. What number do you think ultimately could get this done if you want both signed before training camp?
Yeah, I kind of came to the same number for both of these guys at 4 years, valued at $31.25 million. So that's $125 million if I'm doing my math correctly. And you could give both of those guys the exact same contract. I know everybody's like, oh, do it on the same day, have a big press release of your 2 best guys signing their deals. Well, those deals could look monetarily the exact same. Maybe some guarantees are different here and there, but you want to lock these guys up for at least 4 years. At the $31.25 million mark, that would put Sauce above Stingley as the highest paid corner, which I think he's deserved of. I know Stingley had a better 2024, but the first 3 years of their career, Sauce is without question the better player. So he would be number 1 in terms of AAV at the cornerback position. And then Garrett, would be number 6. And I think DK makes almost 33 million average annual value. So if you were able to get Garrett at 31.25, that's a steal compared to DK Metcalf. And I know AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're also in that range of 32.5 million AAV. So that would put him right at 6 behind Brown and St. Brown. But obviously he's not going to command the $40 million that Jamar Chase has or the $35 million that Justin Jefferson has either. So I think 31.25 for both of these guys, not only is it a good deal now, but by the time, other guys get paid next year, it's going to look like a steal, in my opinion.
JR Jet with a super chat. And JR, I'll see you in the Bronx for our Yankee Stadium Asmaniac outing on Sunday. We have young veteran players with something to prove, and Glenn's stock is rising by the day. Only noise we hear is positive. See you Sunday, Jake. Jet up. Amen, JR. Look, I think we're all hoping Glenn's the real deal. I think this first year will show us a lot. I think really early on in the season, given the level of difficulty some of these games are, how the Jets navigate that early will tell us a lot. Because, Dylan, I think if they could get the 3-5 at the bye, it's set up for them to be in the mix in, a conference that now allows 3 teams to be a wild card team. So, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself because there's so much that has to happen. But, your first 2 games are at home. Can you split them? Then you play Tampa, you play Miami. I don't think Miami's that great. Can you split those games? Can you just give yourself a path to stay afloat? And then you hope as this team gels and gets coached properly, they get better as the year goes on. And there's that path to, 9-8 and sneaking into the playoffs if you want to be an optimist, right?
Yeah, 100%. And you even look at game 5 against the Dallas Cowboys. I haven't done the full roster deep dive on the Cowboys, but there's a lot of spots where they match up pretty favorably against the Cowboys as well. So, yeah, 3 wins by the bye week doesn't seem too crazy. And that would also probably mean you're keeping Breece Hall. I know he's been rumored to get traded if the Jets suck in the first half of the season, but 3-5, you're still looking at your roster and the rest of the season that opens up in the back half and saying, no, we can win. And we want to keep all the talented players we can. Maybe they're not buyers at the deadline, but they certainly would be holding tight and saying we can compete down the stretch. And like you said, 9-8, that might be second best in the AFC East for all we know, based on how we think the Dolphins and the Patriots seasons are looking.
You mentioned Breece Hall. PFF named him make or break for the Jets. They picked a player on every team. Breece was the pick for the Jets as their make or break player. Your thoughts on that, and then your outlook on Breece going into a contract year?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I know Robbie, I believe, said AVT could be in this mix too, but that doesn't really generate the buzz of the skill players like Breece Hall. So to put him at make or break, I think is fair. If he has a down year, maybe not, probably worse than he had last year, they're probably going to move on, right? And then if he's able to pick it up a little bit in this run-heavy offense that we assume is going to happen, maybe they franchise tag him and he can keep playing for another year or two with the Jets. So I would consider him definitely make or break. He might not be the number one name on my list. I would probably go with AVT, kind of like Robbie did, more so because offensive line is just so damn important. And you can replace Breece, I guess, easier. I don't want to say it's easy to replace Breece, but in the draft, if you're choosing between finding a guard and a running back, I think it's easier to find the running back. So definitely make or break for Breece, but I said it, I think last week on your show, 1,700 to 2,000 all-purpose yards for Breece Hall would not surprise me whatsoever. Give him 1,100 on the ground, another 700 through the air, maybe even 600 through the air to get him at exactly 1,700. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think he could compete. I don't want to say everybody's a Pro Bowl talent on this team, but Breece Hall could easily be an alternate in the Pro Bowl the way that they do the selection system now at this point. So, yeah, I'm pretty high on Breece Hall after the down year. He looks yoked. He looks like he's hungry, ready to play, ready to prove himself. He's not going to let Braylon Allen come in and take the majority of the carries. I know they say running back by committee, but I don't believe that. I think Breece Hall is still going to be the bell cow, at least in the short term. Maybe if things start to slide, Braylon gets more run in the second half. But Breece, I have really high hopes for this year.
Dylan, I have some breaking Asmaniac news.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
We all know about Six Rings, whose YouTube name is Patriots 12. Well, now we have Dolphins 13. Dan Marino is the best. I'm also a Patriots fan. So Dolphins 13, Patriots 12. I'm just waiting for Buffalo 4, right? 4 straight Super Bowl losses. Did Oh, man. This chat is unbelievable. Also,
else, man.
we're pleased to welcome J7 Truther to the show. Like, share, and subscribe. Our first Justin Fields Truther username. Love it. All the positivity you want on June 26th. I am all about. So appreciate
it's really just
you,
Peter Castro.
Yeah, Peter Castro. He's guaranteed 11 wins. Fields our long-term guy. JJ has guaranteed that Justin Fields will be in the Jets Ring of Honor someday. So those are the top 2 Fields truthers out there.
Hey, I'm not there yet, but I can easily be swayed after a couple of good performances.
Unbelievable. Hit the like button if you just tuned in. Dylan Tereman is with us here. Make sure you guys subscribe to Dylan's YouTube channel. I put it in the live chat before. I'll make sure I throw it in again before the show ends. And if you're tuning in late, we're going to do a raffle at the end of the show. So if you want a chance to win a replica Joe Namath Super Bowl 3 ring, get the channel membership to enter, and we'll pick a winner at the end of the show. If you don't win, you could still win prizes on Monday in our weekly raffle. We'll do some calls with Dylan coming up. I do want to get your thoughts, though, on the Jet Mount Rushmore debate conversation that we've had on the show the last few days. The New York Post released their 4. I gave my 4, and I've been asking all my guests to weigh in on their all-time Jets Mount Rushmore. So who's on your Jets more, Dylan? Let me pull up the graphic because StreamYard is glitching. There we go.
So this one is a little tough for me. It's hard to decide that 4th guy. I know you picked Curtis Martin. I picked Joe Klecko. Hearing all the other people, Matt O'Leary, Sabo, all the guys that have been on, talk about their versions of Mount Rushmore, I want to change, but I also want to stick with it. I think Klecko is deserving, but the argument that Sabo made about if you want to consider Klecko, you have to consider Gastineau. There really is no other running back to do that against Curtis Martin. So to me, I know it might not be the fairest argument for Joe Klecko, but I think that is leaning me towards Curtis Martin. I also wanted to put in more guys that I visually saw play in my lifetime. It's hard to make a Mount Rushmore with 3 guys I've never even seen play before. Obviously, the 2 are Maynard and Namath. Those are the 2 locks. And then Klecko being the 3rd of 4 that I haven't even seen. And then Revis is the only Mount Rushmore guy that I've been alive for. It's a tough sell. So I do kind of lean more towards Curtis Martin now. Plus, I feel like when he retired, he was top 3 or 4 in yards. So that goes a long way into the conversation too. Obviously now he's a little bit further down on the list, but when he was playing, Curtis Martin was truly an amazing football player for the Jets. So I'm going to have to switch it and go Joe Namath, Don Maynard, Darrelle Revis, and Curtis Martin is my 4th.
I love it. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. What are we going to do with this 6 rings guy? Patriots 12 just gifted another channel membership.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
That's a fair one. That's a fair video to play.
This guy is unbelievable. I mean, I appreciate it. You're in the raffle, but what are you like? I'm going to ship a Jets replica Super Bowl ring to Canada. Like, no, you better not win. Tony Goods, you became a member though because of 6 rings right there. Matthew Smith writes in, how the hell is Denzel Mims not being considered for a spot?
You get the fuck out.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
For what? Most seafood allergy related injuries? Like, that's the only way he's on a Mount Rushmore of anything is negative things. Which there's plenty of Jets to be on the negative Mount Rushmore.
Oh, tons. It was funny. Someone asked, like, who's on the Mount Rushmore of Jets draft bus? And it's like, that's impossible to come up with just 4. It's really hard. I mean, we just doing, like, straight bus who got, like, the most playing time and sucked. That was a high pick because, like, you can make a case. Christian Hackenberg's the biggest bust ever. He was a quarterback they used a 2nd-round pick on that never appeared in a professional NFL game. Forget just the Jets. That's how bad he was. They used a 2nd-round pick on that guy. And then if you factor in, they passed on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes a year later because they had the investment in Hackenberg and Bryce Petty for what it's worth. Like, it just makes it even worse. But Zach Wilson was so awful, but Hackenberg, I'm guessing, was worse because at least Zach Wilson's on a roster. Hackenberg can't even get a job.
Would you put Zach on your Mount Rushmore of bad, even though you have Christian Hackenberg on there? Would you put 2 quarterbacks or would you go in a different position?
I think I would put Wilson on there because of the amount of games he played.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Which is honestly on the Jets more than Zach after 2022. He never should have been in line to play as many games as he had to in 23.
No. And I know when he got hurt in the 2022 regular or preseason against the Eagles, it was like, okay, that was your chance to go find a quarterback out there on the streets that was going to be better than Zach Wilson. And I don't remember how that season started, but I know Zach came back and had that game against Pittsburgh that his truthers still talk about. But it's like, he's got to be on the Mount Rushmore. So, like, I'm stuck at 3 right now. Ja'Kai Polite, Hackenberg, and Zach Wilson. Those are the 3 to me. Denzel Mims is deserving, but I feel like there's one that I'm just not thinking of.
Are you just doing in your lifetime? Because, like, the older Jet fan will tell you Roger Vick has got to be on there. Blair Thomas
we can just do the playoff drought. It doesn't have to be our lifetime. It could just be the playoff drought.
Yeah,
Mount Rushmore.
See, that's good because then you and I could really break it down. Then Mount Rushmore of Jets bust during this playoff drought. That's a 15-year sample size. I mean, Zach has to be on there. Polite's a great one. Yeah. Mims. Honestly,
Mims is like maybe the 4th, but there's somebody else that I'm not thinking.
Darren Lee was a 1st-round pick.
Oh, Darren. Dude, remember Darren Lee getting yoked up by Leonard Williams wherever they were at that event underneath like that pavilion and Leonard Williams had to like grip him up and like stop a fight or something that went viral? Dude, Darren Lee was bad.
Dude, I guess Kyle Wilson technically wouldn't qualify because they made the playoffs in 2010.
Yeah, he's there though. He's almost there. D. Milliner I saw in the chat too. He just misses if we're doing the drought. But the last time I heard D. Milliner, he was doing like Trojan.
No, he's on there. He's on there. D. Milliner was post playoffs.
Was he? I thought he was 2000. Wasn't he the year Sheldon got drafted? Wasn't that 2013?
No, that was so. But the last time the Jets made the playoffs was 2010.
Oh, he was. Oh shit. Yeah. Why am I thinking? Oh wow, I'm thinking 2015. Because that was
thought they made it in 15.
Yeah. No. He would definitely
last winning season. If you did that,
yeah, which you could still do. It's crazy. You could do 2020 and on, and probably come up with the 4 worst names because they're just some of these are so freaking bad, dude.
You want to see hatred? Michael Duramo just sent in a $20 super chat. Pat's fan to the hole. Then he wrote, "How about now?" Somehow he figured out how to send a $30 super chat, which I didn't even know you could do, to meet the $50 threshold. And then at the same time that's happening, Frank P just spent $50 to say, send that mosquito to the hole. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 rings is not even called in. And the Jet fan base, the Asmaniacs, have already had enough. And anyone who watches this show knows one thing. 1, I root for an awful football team, unfortunately. And 2, I am a capital fish, as Bobby Midnight would say. So 6 rings, see ya.
Now look what you've done, 6 rings. You fake Pats fraud. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to cut you off and cast you out with the sodomites. Some time in here will make you feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Unbelievable. Man, 6 rings. We'll see you later. You're in the raffle for 2, but you're in the hole now for the remainder of the show. Frank, I got you in the raffle for 10. Michael, I got you in the raffle for 10 as well. If you're tuning in late, we're giving away a replica Broadway Joe Namath Super Bowl 3 ring. I got it right here. So for those of you who want in on that, gift a membership or send in the requisite super chat to qualify. Dan checks in. What's up, Dan? Jake, it's Mount Rushmore. The conversation should be geared towards top 4 Jets running backs with the GOAT Curtis Martin leading the way, obviously. Okay, this is an interesting one, too, because if we're just going to, like, do Jet careers, you obviously can't put, like, LaDainian Tomlinson in there. Yeah. He wasn't here long enough. But, I mean, the Jets have had some outstanding running backs in their history. Freeman McNeil. We could obviously talk about Emerson Boozer and Matt Snell. Yep. I'd have to really look. I'd have to look at the numbers, but Curtis Martin, Freeman McNeil, Emerson Boozer, Matt Snell. Off the top of my head, that's 4. That to me sounds like a Jet Mount Rushmore.
Well, how many are on Mount Rushmore again? Maybe we should get Robin here to figure it out. But yeah, no, that's the easiest 4 in my opinion. And maybe statistically or whatever, it's not accurate. But those are the first 4 that came to my head, and like it seems like that's a fair 4 for running back group for sure. Uh-oh. Jake froze. I thought I froze for a sec, but I guess it was Jake that froze. Somebody said Riggins in the chat. I feel like, did Riggins play his whole career with the Jets? That's, obviously predating me, but we're not going to get Jake back. Uh-oh. At least StreamYard did him all right with a decent picture. He wasn't making a funny face or anything. Yeah, Washington too, Dominic. That's what I thought. I knew that. Oh,
my back. Is this thing on?
You're somewhat back. We can hear you a little bit.
My internet just stopped working. I guess 6 rings got me somehow from the hole. So I hopped on my phone here. So I'm waiting for everything to reboot. But I figured I might be able to still finagle the show a little bit. As this madness is unfolding. I don't know where I got cut off, but I was talking about my 4 for the running backs, Dylan, being Curtis Martin, Emerson Boozer, Matt Snell, and Freeman McNeil. I had to look into the stats of guys like Adrian Morrell. Did he play long enough with the Jets to knock anyone off my list? But that was my 4. I don't know what you said when I was gone / how long I was even out. So you take over from here.
Yeah, those were the same 4 that I did, and I have the same thought as you. Statistically, I would have to look and like double check and make sure, but as soon as they said running back, as soon as Dan said running back, that's where my head went. Snell for the Super Bowl team, Boozer, Freeman McNeil. I feel like they're like right behind Curtis Martin on most of the records lists for the franchise. So I feel like that's an easy one. Somebody said John Riggins, and I know he was with Washington. I just couldn't remember if it was like 50-50 split of his career, or if it was a little bit with the Jets and mostly with Washington. But I know he was really good in Washington, so maybe you don't put him on this list for the Jets.
There was a super chat here. I don't know if I can pull it up. I think I can. Let's see if that works. I guess it didn't. Hold on. This is so annoying. Let's see. I can't even.
Damn,
this is God. Brutal. It was from the big fella. You could probably see it. Can you pull up who he had? He gave his Mount Rushmore of Jets draft pick bust. Can you read what he wrote? Because I can't even pull it up.
Yeah, there's so many, but I got it here. Zach Wilson, Vernon Golson, Blair Thomas, and Stephen Hill. So he went a little bit further than just the playoff drought, but hard to argue with a lot of these. And somebody called Arian Smith Stephen Hill. I think it was on your show, and that really made me cringe, and I hope that that's not the case.
I think it might have been Jeff Parles who
that's who it was.
It
was Jeff yesterday.
Yeah, and then I mean, look, if you ask any like old school, longtime Jet fan, they'll tell you Blair Thomas has to be on there because he's a running back that was the 2nd overall pick that sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're putting Zach for being a second overall quarterback bust, I mean, obviously back then running backs were highly picked in that range too. So yeah, Blair Thomas would have to be up there. And then Vernon Gholston's just an obvious one. I mean, he's the Ja'Kai Polite before Ja'Kai Polite.
No one talks about Dwayne Robertson either. I think everyone talks about Golston over Dwayne Robertson. I don't know why though. Maybe because it's one's 03 versus one's 08, but I don't know. Dwayne Robertson was a terrible draft pick too. At least with Vernon Gholston, they got up from it because Rex came in and they had success in 09 and 2010.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a fair one. Maybe it was more like the playing time. I don't remember how much Dwayne Robertson played, but maybe his playing time wasn't as significant as Vernon Gholston, so we just saw too much of Gholston on the field doing absolutely nothing.
All right, I'm going to do the old switcheroo here. Watch this.
Sounds good.
Am I on? Where'd Dylan go? God, I hate technology. There we go.
Here
We're
I am.
back. Hey. All right. Apologies for the tech issues. Dylan, great job hosting.
Yes.
I actually can acknowledge Big Fella's super chat now. Big Fella, thank you very much. Let's get to some calls now, shall we? Dylan, of course, joining us in his weekly spot. Comments, questions, super chats. Quick reminder, our sponsor today, Huga House. Get a performance line hat like the hat I'm wearing, 20% off when you use my code. That's code Asman. Check it out. They just re-upped a bunch of the hats that were sold out. So if you're someone that has been blowing up my email or DM saying, where are the white hats? They're in stock right now. Same with the blue, the black, the green, and the beige. So check it out if you're interested in getting a new hat, which I highly recommend because they're comfortable. They look nice and good material if you're running or just being outside here in the summer. So shout out to Huga House for sponsoring today's show. Let's get to some of your calls, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, first up today on our Gusbuster hotline. Hold on, I got to switch over.
Oh my gosh, StreamYard is really killing
Me, man. It's just, it is the worst. Anyway, here we go.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Love it. I mentioned this before on Jake's show, but I wanted your opinion on it, Dylan. Do you think Corley can play on the Jets as a wingback?
Maybe it's probably not his best role for the team. In my opinion, he needs to be used like the team was using Garrett Wilson the last 3 years as the short to intermediate, just get him the ball within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and let his elusiveness do the work. I think that's the style of play that he is. Wingback, I don't know. I kind of compared him to like the Debo light when he was coming out of the draft last year, but it's so hard to compare anybody to Debo Samuel and like the specifics that he did. So I guess there's a role that you could do that, but I don't think they're thinking about him in that way. When Aaron Glenn talked about him, he talked about like, screens and return game and reverses and kind of designed gadget plays. That's more what I see him doing in the short to intermediate, not necessarily anything in the backfield. And we saw what happened when you hand him the ball. He got his one opportunity and he didn't make the most of it. Not saying that's, what his entire career is going to be, but I would think that would have to be, let's establish his role as the short to intermediate and then start getting a little crazy with where we align him.
So really for him to make the team, he's got to beat out Gibson or Lazard, gets traded or something like that.
He needs to beat out Gibson or Tyler Johnson because Tyler Johnson is known as a route runner. He's not necessarily a burner. He's not necessarily a huge contested catch player, but I think Corley could be what Tyler Johnson is just on a younger, cheaper deal. Obviously, I know Tyler Johnson didn't sign a great deal. I think it's a 1-year deal anyway, but when you have the cost control of Corley, why would you cut him to keep Tyler Johnson? Because if Tyler Johnson does okay, now you got to pay him. Whereas if Corley does okay in that role, you still have him for 2 more seasons, right? 2 more seasons. Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough. I would say Gibson and Tyler Johnson and Corley are the 3 fighting for that short to intermediate gadget guy.
And why do you think that wide receivers it's like they could be really good in college, even at D1, but then they come to the NFL and it's just they suck? How can that happen? I still can't get my mind around it. It's like
Yeah,
hard for me to understand how it could happen.
That's kind of like the Denzel Mims thing, right? Like he was really good at Baylor. They never asked him to run a full route tree, but the routes that he ran just worked really well for their offense. Sometimes it's the, big fish, little pond moving into a small fish, big pond type of thing. And they're just not really built for it. And I think that might be a little bit of Corley's issue. I know they talked about a little bit of his overall mentality and approach to the game. To me, that talks about maturity first and foremost. And if you're just not mature enough for the NFL, they're going to exponentially pass you. Everybody else on the depth chart is just going to be that much further ahead of you. So I'm not going to say Corley can't learn the playbook or he's, incompetent or anything like that. But when it comes down to maturity, a lot of these guys, they'll succeed at the college level because they're kind of catered to, I guess is the nice way to put it. Like they're the big shot at their club. And then they come to the NFL and they have to earn their spot. And some people aren't really ready to earn that spot. So wide receiver is just such a hit or miss in the NFL anymore. You could have a guy who you think is a surefire and he's just not it, right? Or a guy that comes out of nowhere like Puka Nacua, who was at one time catching passes from Zach Wilson. So it's just kind of crazy how the wide receiver position, in my opinion, like coaching, maturity, and, I don't want to say big-headedness, but in a way, big-headedness kind of, occupies wide receivers more than any other position. That's why they're divas.
Yeah. That's a good way to break it down. I saw Justin Fields Truther comment this, and it was interesting. So we all debate about the Mount Rushmore, but if you had a Mount Rushmore offense only and Mount Rushmore defense only, who's going to be on there?
For the Jets, I'm assuming?
Ooh. Of course.
Okay, so offense, I would go Namath
I still have
Maynard.
3 of my guys. Yeah, because I had 3
Namath
offensive
Maynard,
players.
Martin.
Yep.
And then
fourth
maybe I'm adding Wayne Corbett. I'm probably going to add Wayne Corbett as that fourth guy. I think his story in general, just an all-around jet. He's an all-timer. Defense would probably get a little tougher. You're probably putting Klecko and Gastineau, and then you're putting Revis, and then maybe Mo Lewis. That'd probably be the 4 that I went with. Klecko, Gastineau, Revis, Lewis.
Jerry Philbin might be on there if we're just doing defense.
To be honest, I wish I knew more about him or the Super Bowl team in general. Just like I should do more research on that roster. But yeah, it seems like he was he's Ring of Honor. So he obviously has to be, decent in some capacity. And when you wear 81 on defense, you're just different, right?
Yeah, I think it's for me, just off the top of my head, offense is pretty easy because 3 of the 4 were on my original Jet Mount Rushmore.
I thought you were going to go either Mangold or Mawai.
Ooh, Mawai's a good one too. I would put him above Mangold for sure, but that's a good one.
Mawai would be my 4th one, probably.
Yeah.
He's in the Hall of Fame. Either him or Winston Hill. I didn't see Winston Hill play, but he's a Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame tackle.
That's true. Yeah. It's interesting. I think defense would be a little easier. Well, offense, you have 3 of the 4, so defense, I guess you just have more freedom to do what you want.
Revis, Gastineau, Klecko, obviously.
Yep.
I got one more. I could put Philbin in.
Mm-hmm.
Could put Mo Lewis in.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't want to think about Bart Scott. I know it was limited, but it was so impactful.
No. I would put David Harris over Bart Scott.
Yeah, Bart Scott never even was an all-pro with the Jets.
I love Bart Scott.
Yeah, because you like him on the radio.
I love Bart.
He's Mount Rushmore of personalities, like Jets personalities for sure. And I love him Bart on pre and post game with Willie and Connor and
I watched all his stuff.
Gelbs.
I love Bart.
Mm-hmm.
Mike.
All right, gents. Peace.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Thank you, Mike. Cripple life treating him well, it appears. Let's see. Zach wrote it. I'm starting to think Pat's 12 has no friends in real life. Well, we won't know because we can't ask him because he's in the hole. So those are the circumstances we are dealing with. All right, let's get to some more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the naked man is on the line.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets rude, cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt.
And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
Hey, Jake. Thanks for taking my call. Dylan, doing a great job as always. I believe I put you number one on my Mount Rushmore of guests for Jake. So definitely appreciate what you do, bud.
I appreciate that. That's very kind.
How
And I know we
about-
live in the same state, but we're wearing completely opposite outfits right now. I got a hoodie on inside. You're outside naked. So it's fun.
I'm not just outside. I'm not just outside.
Oh, he's got. There it
Oh,
Right?
there's a
it
cool
is.
call.
All
There
right.
it is.
So what about keeping a streak going that we've had for a number of years now, a few years, having one that we haven't had in a long time and having one that we've had never. 1,000-yard rushing quarterback, 1,000-yard receiver, and 1,000-yard rusher all in the same year. What you think?
Ooh. I would love to look that up and see if it's ever happened in the NFL. I don't think it has because the 1,000-yard quarterback obviously makes it difficult. Dude, there's a world. Like the amount of targets that Garrett Wilson's going to get peppered with, if he gets like 140, 150 targets from Fields, there's a very good chance he breaks 1,000. Like I said about Breece, I really think he's the easiest one to get the 1,000 just based on how much I think he's going to receive the workload in the backfield. Obviously, this is assuming full health for 17 games. And then Fields would be the hardest at 1,000. I know he's done it before. And it's actually kind of crazy. I was listening to the Badlands pod, and Richard Todd is the Jets' leading franchise rusher at quarterback for his career with 831 yards. Fields could get that in one season. Like it's not in terribly like hard to fathom him getting 850 rushing yards. So I mean, there's maybe a slim possibility of it happening, but it could happen, dude. I'm cool with that.
I mean, I think if that happened, we'd be looking at 9 or 10 wins, you know. So I mean, you know, for us folks that think they can win 9 or 10 games, I think that's a realistic, you know, possibility.
If you're running the ball
just
that
curious,
much,
Jake,
you have leads in the second half of games, and you're not throwing to get back.
The only thing that worries me about what you say with, which I agree with you, Breece is going to get the lion's share of the carries, but I do think he's going to be split out a little bit more. And I don't know, man. I think the split might be a little bit less going to Breece this year. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not quite as confident. I think all around he'll easily have 1,500 yards. But I don't know. To be honest, if I had to list my confidence level, it would definitely be Garrett as number one, and then I think Breece and Justin Fields are about equal as far as kind of what I'm thinking. Just because it is a new offense for him. So it's going to, you know, take him probably a little bit of time to learn. And, you know, I don't think we're going to do like Pittsburgh does and completely put handcuffs on him and say, okay, you know, basically make a read, check it down or go. You know what I mean? I think they really gave him a very elementary offense last year to run.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him more 2-3 read plays in the passing game and then let him take off if, you know, all hell breaks loose on the play or, you know, there's a breakdown in pass protection. I think those are going to be the only cases where he immediately runs. I would love, like you said, I would love to see them not do what Pittsburgh did. Don't let him be just an elite game manager. Let him actually throw the ball. He has a really good deep ball. So obviously you think about Garrett and Arian Smith in those roles, and that would be great to get those guys involved. But I agree with your confidence level. It would go Garrett, and then Breece and Fields are probably tied.
Yeah, and just out of curiosity, Jake, did you do a little homework on Miss Catane? Did you look at that little
I did not have a chance to look into the hot redhead that you suggested yet, Mr. Rube. Today got away from me, but don't worry, I have it on my to-do list. So I will take care of that.
I think she's going to be on your Mount. I think she's going to be on your Mount Rushmore. That's why I'm asking. I mean, you got to get over the kind of the big hair. That's why I'm telling you Seinfeld. Her hair's the smallest in Seinfeld between the other two. But I still like that because I grew up in that. So, I mean, big old messy hair is great. Bring it on. Love the lovely ladies with big old messy hair.
Calm your freaky down.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rube. All right. You're already naked.
Shout out.
There's only so much we can go so far. Big fellow with a super chat. Mount Rushmore for defense. Sean Ellis is another good one.
Ooh, that's a great one.
Consider. Darrell Revis, Joe Klecko, Mo Lewis, honorable mentions, Gastineau, David Harris. David Harris is one of the more underrated Jets of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the guy, like a lunch pail guy, right? He just comes in, he does his job, doesn't really talk much, doesn't do a ton of media spots, and he shows up in the big moments. So, yeah, I think what was the first name he put on that list? I already forget.
Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis. Yeah.
Yep.
Big cat. Yeah, 100% has to be on there. That was a big overlook on my end. I forgot about that D line during those Rex years. So yeah, Sean Ellis for sure. I mean, he's got to be considered probably over Gastineau. I think that's fair.
Sean Ellis, awesome Jet. Was there a long time, man, and not a flashy guy, just a lunch pail. Got the job done. Yeah. Part of
last guy to have 10 sacks back-to-back seasons.
Is that right?
Yeah, for the Jets at least. Yeah.
Wow. You think of Sean Ellis's career too? I mean, he was on he was one of the few guys that bridged the early 2000 teams with Herm into Mangini, then got to experience being on the Rex teams. So, I mean, Sean Ellis, when he played for the Jets, he was on teams that went to the playoffs 6 times in his career. That has to be the most of anyone during that era. He was on all 6 of the playoff teams.
Yeah, it's amazing how, I mean, people like Connor Long and the next gen Jets don't realize this, but the Jets were like a biannual playoff team from the 2000 to 2012 seasons. Like they were making it almost every year.
2000, they had a winning season. 01, they were in the playoffs. 02, they won the division. 04, they were in the playoffs. 06, they were in the playoffs. They had a winning season in 08, even though it obviously ended in horrible fashion after being 8-3. 09 championship game, 10 championship game. I mean, Sean Ellis was on all those teams.
Yeah.
Knob says,
let's bring the Jets back to that type of football, man. Come on.
God, that'd be nice. Knob says, Jake, I got the Mawai jersey. Thank you. Knob Craft, I'm glad that you won a raffle prize, and I'm glad the Mawai jersey arrived safely. All right, let's get to more of your calls right now. We're talking about all-time great Jets. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have one on the line.
I'm doing my best Edward Ziff impression.
Well done.
So, yeah, I can vouch for Charleston Jets Rube. Tony Katane is no joke. Just
okay.
Next week, we'll be on to the Brunettes. I think as far as the busts go, Hackenberg and Wilson, right? Vernon Golston, no doubt. And then there can be a discussion about the fourth guy. We had a lot of guys that were taken kind of high that didn't pan out, like Darren Lee. I don't think Mims kind of that's our own fault, right? Like that was a receiver-rich draft, and we got a little cocky, and we decided we were going to trade back. I think we traded back multiple times to 59th.
Yes.
Right? to take Denzel Mims. Devin Smith, he's got to be in the conversation. He did nothing. I think you can go on and on for post playoff era busts. But I think Devin Smith, and I think is Milner's post playoff, right?
Yeah,
probably him. It's probably him.
D. Milner was terrible.
Yeah. I only say Mims over Devin Smith because I believe Devin Smith found pay dirt one time as a Jet, and Denzel Mims never did it. So that would be the only pushback. But no, either of those receivers. I mean,
by the same token, Zach had his moments when he started.
For sure.
Right? He never could sustain anything. The reason that they kept on playing him is he kept on getting hurt. Like when you invest in the second round pick, they gotta continue to see him to see if anything's ever going to click. Mm-hmm. That's why he played for so long. But now we're past that, thank God. What was my last? I might have lost my train there.
I got one for you, Kyle.
What's that?
Eli super chats. He says, "Tell Kyle he needs to go outside for some of these calls. Chad is hammering inside." It's a good point. You got to switch it up. You got to throw a second pitch, Mr. Clifton.
Yeah, here's the problem. The weather has been so brutal that at least today I'm not sweating through my shirt like in my office like I have the last few days. I forgot to put the wall air conditioner in before the heat wave hit. So
brutal.
Yeah, I wanted to thank you, Jake, for the raffle earlier.
I feel you, by the way. I got my fan next to me here. God.
And great show. Good to see you, Dylan. Talk to you next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton calling from the great indoors and channeling his inner Edward Ziff on the line. Unbelievable. All right. Dylan, I think you're going to be excited about this next caller. We're all dying to know, has he taken any steps forward to get off Mount Unemployment? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hi, I'm Charles, and I'm going to talk about Spider-Man and movies and sports and video games and maybe hot chicks.
Hey, Jake, I tried to apply to a Barnes & Noble yesterday, but they were all long distance, so I'm going to try to apply for AMC Theater today. I just got back from shopping at Costco for some water, milk, and granola bars. How are you two doing?
I like how oddly specific you were on everything there, Charles.
That's all you got from Costco was water, milk, and granola bars?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
No, nothing's wrong with it. I figured your food palette would be larger if you're going to a store like Costco.
Nah, I only got what I needed for a while.
Do you have dinner food in your house, Charles?
I had a late lunch with my brother, so we're good.
Would you have Costco?
No, we have Friendlies. I tried their legendary chicken melt. It was good.
How many times a week do you eat at Friendlies?
Yeah. That's more my question is, do you have dinner food in your fridge for the nights that you don't eat out? Like I got a steak defrosting coming out of my fridge right now that I'm going to make in an hour when I'm done here. Do you have those types of foods in your fridge?
Not yet, but I plan on doing that in the future.
Okay. Not yet. What do you mean not yet? And you don't plan on it. You've lived alone now for a good month already. When is this going to happen? Your toaster oven is still in your closet.
Actually, now it's my microwave. I put the toaster oven out. So,
have you used the air fryer? These guys are buying you some really nice appliances. You got to start using
Not yet. No, I will use it though. Don't worry.
But you were at Costco today, so in theory, correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, he could have bought some steaks, chicken, salmon.
Oh, you could have bought a package of wings and just thrown them in the air fryer without any seasoning on them, and they'd probably be the best wings you've eaten all year.
Those are good points.
Now, how come you haven't applied for a job at Costco, considering you love that place?
I was just thinking of that too while we were having this conversation, believe it or not.
Now,
you need to carry a backpack with a folder of resumes, Charles. And every place you go to that you're like, hey, I've been here 3 times in the last 2 weeks, just hand them your application and just say, hey, my name is Charles. I'm looking for a job. Are you guys hiring? And if they say no, just leave the resume anyway. And they might call you in a week or 2 or maybe 3 months.
Now, Charles, how did you just think, hey, maybe applying to Costco is a good idea now? You were just there today. You know that everyone's trying to get you.
I was actually thinking about that for a while, believe it or not.
Do you have extra copies of your resume? Did Coach Stein gave you a couple extras?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, put them in a little folder, in like a drawstring bag or a backpack, because I know you don't drive, so it's hard to just keep them in your car, obviously. But like, put them in a backpack, and wherever you go with your brother or wherever you're traveling, just say, hey, if I've been here a couple times recently, let me just apply, see what happens.
Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah. The worst thing you could hear is no thanks, we're not hiring, right?
Now as for the yes, I will I will apply to Costco when I get the chance. As a matter of fact, I think they may have an online application thing.
They
I could get
do.
wrong.
All these places do. It's 2025, Charles.
Yeah. Everything is online now. Yeah.
Spend your time applying for jobs instead of going to Friendlies and eating. Going to Costco, eating there. I'm sure you had free samples. And now, as much as we
didn't
love,
actually.
Did you get the
really?
$1.50 combo?
I didn't get it. No.
You went to Costco and didn't get one free sample?
No, I didn't. I swear to God.
Regardless.
Now, I also want to give you guys Mount Rushmore of Jets busts. 1 is Christian Hackenberg. 2 is Vernon Golston. 3 is Quentin Coples. He disappointed the shit out of me. And 4,
like you've done to everyone who wants you to get a job.
I am going to say, damn it, I just had it in my head too. Oh my God.
All that job applying is really racking his brain right now.
No, it's a lot of things. I just had it. Christian Hackenberg, Vernon Golston, Quentin Coples.
Charles, what happens first? The Jets win a game or you get a job?
Hopefully me get a job.
What do you mean hopefully?
Charles,
June 26th.
It needs to be you getting a job. There's no hopefully. Like, we're 70 days away from the first game, not counting preseason, right? I think it's probably more than 70 days. You need a job within the next 20 days, Charles.
Oh, Darren Lee. There we go. But yes, I do need a job.
You can't make this up.
As for the Mount Rushmore Jets running backs, I think you have to give an honorable mention to John Riggins. He did start off his career with the Jets from 71 and 75. And 75 became the first 1,000-yard rusher in franchise history.
Repeat after me.
I need a job.
J-O-B. Job. Let's go. Let's manifest it.
J-O-B. Job.
But say it with enthusiasm, like it's the Jet chant, like it's King Lowski.
I know that, but can we have a conversation about Mount Rushmore? I know you want me to get a job.
We can, but there's some more serious things to discuss besides a hypothetical.
J-O-B, job.
One more time. Let's go.
J-O-B, job.
Love it.
Now,
hold on. Before you go into the Mount Rushmore again, I have another question. Nick Shine gave you a task to every day do push-ups and sit-ups. Are you continuing to do those?
Yes.
Okay. Are you getting better at the sit-ups?
Not really. No, I'm still too damn fat.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest with yourself, but like you're making progress though, because
it's all that Friendlies.
What you put on film a couple weeks ago was a little rough.
Yes, it was. I'm not gonna lie.
The push-ups were really good.
I'm better at doing crunches than I am at doing sit-ups, to be honest.
So if you struggle doing sit-ups, what you should do is cross your ankles and put your feet up in the air and just go up, right? Instead of trying to bring your whole body up, just bring your legs up and then kind of like touch your toes with your hands. You know what I mean? So your body isn't coming up and you're just kind of you're still getting the same motion. It's not as vigorous as a real crunch or a sit-up, but it's at least a start, right? It's like doing push-ups on your knees, right?
Yes.
So,
Charles.
Yes.
Costco, online, apply, and make every day a goal that you have to apply for at least 1, if not 2 jobs. Go to Indeed.com and just find jobs and just apply.
Yes, Jake, I will.
I'm going to ask Jake for your address, and I'm going to look at all the places around you that are hiring.
Hold on, Dylan. He won't. We say the same thing every time, and you go, I will. And then you call back in, and you're like, let me give you my Mount Rushmore, and completely gloss over the fact that you spent the day just eating Friendlies and going to Costco.
Does your job coach require you to prove that you're looking for jobs, or does he or she
She's not my job coach. She's my CPE evaluator.
Well, she's a terrible coach, so we fired her. Nick Shine is now.
I don't know what CPE
means.
But...
Fire. Stop it. She's still with me. I still have her number.
You're hitting on her?
No, she's married with kids and grandkids.
Sliding in the DMs, Charles.
The way you said that, Charles, I don't know. We know you're a loose cannon.
I'm a loose cannon when I need to be.
Calm your freaky down.
Well, be a loose cannon with those resumes, man. Just send them out, and who cares what happens, right? You hear no, you move on. You hear yes, then you start reeling in the fishing rod because you got a bite. I can't
Yes,
see what's in your glasses, but I hope it's an application process.
No,
it is an application.
He's ignoring
It
us.
is?
I'm on Costco right now, and
Genergy wrote in a Charlito focus. I don't want to speak for
Charlito, that's a good
Genergy,
one.
but Genergy did tell me that she finds males around the age of 30 who have beards and glasses super attractive if they have jobs. Oddly specific, but I think it does apply for you.
Gorman, is that cross the only thing hanging on your walls?
Yes, it's my mother put that up there.
I'm not judging. I'm just asking if that's the only thing hanging on your wall, Charles. That's it. I haven't seen another picture or anything. I was just asking.
A lot of people
I can't criticize religion. I don't study anything, so I can't badmouth any religion. I was just asking a question.
What happened to your Batman, Matt? You're wearing the Batman shirt. Big fella spent hard-earned cash on the Batman bat.
I put the Batman man in the bathroom, and I've been using the shower, the actual shower.
Do you use the squatty potty?
A little bit, yes.
So the Batman bathroom mat is actually still in the bathroom, correct?
Yes, it's been used these past couple of weeks. Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure, man. People spent a lot of hard-earned cash.
I know you spent a lot of hard-earned money for me.
Can I ask you a random question, Charles?
Yes.
It irks me that you wear shoes in your house. Do you have sneakers on right now?
I have flip-flops and I have sneakers, yes.
No. What are on your feet right now?
My bare feet. I'm walking around my bare feet in my apartment.
Good. You should stop wearing shoes in your house.
How did you know he wore shoes in his house?
What's that?
How did you know he wore shoes in his house?
When he was doing the push-ups and sit-ups, he was wearing sneakers.
Ah.
It's just going to track more dirt in. Then you actually got to clean, and you got to Swiffer and sweep and do all that stuff.
Roseanne wrote in, Charles, I think the bathroom is technically your man cave.
It's his StreamYard Studios.
Dominic says, it's a shitty pity if he doesn't use the squatty potty.
It's just har.
Oscar says, Charles, you can afford to take girls out on dates once you get working, bro. It's important for you and your self-esteem.
Nothing will riz a girl up more than saying, hey, I can take you to this restaurant and pay for you, and we can go do whatever activity you want to do afterward on your dime. It'll be a hell of a feeling, Charles.
What are we looking at, Charles? Is this the Costco website?
No, it's the Costco website.
What is it?
The Costco website.
What website? You broke up.
Costco, right here.
Okay, that's what I asked. Is that the Costco job website?
Actually, I'm breaking your job by saying more, but you can take the day.
Whatever you did, your internet now is trash. Whatever
He's got too many tabs open.
I have no tabs open.
Yeah,
I
you
saw
clearly
3.
did something.
You got YouTube, something else, and Costco open on your computer. I saw it.
I know. I took them all down, and now I'm doing.
Charles, do us a favor. Apply and call back, and we'll go over it because your internet stinks right now. All right?
Yes, sir.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
I need to get Charles's address from you so I can look in the vicinity of like a mile and his walking distance and see what is out there for Charles. And I'm just going to spam him with links to get a job. I want him to get a job before Bobby. And it looked like Bobby was about to get a damn job. So we got to get him off this Mount Rushmore. He's living on his own now. We got to do better for Charles.
I think Dave Brigger was having heart palpitations listening to Gorman during that call.
God, yeah. I hope I'm doing right by Dave. I'm trying, Brigger. I'm trying.
Unbelievable. Will M says, Dylan, I remember you saying you're from Warren County, New Jersey. Did you go to Warren Hills?
Hell no, I was not a blue streak. No, I went to Phillipsburg High School in Warren County, right on the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Our rival was Easton, where my ex-wife went to school, and we played them every year on Thanksgiving. So Phillipsburg, not Warren Hills.
Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. Peg and Artie. Artie, live from the pool. Hello, Artie.
Hey, what's up, Jake? How you doing?
What's up, Artie?
Dylan, always nice seeing you.
Nice hat, dude.
There you go, right? Tomorrow night's the show. If you haven't subscribed, after you're done with Jake, pop on over.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, we didn't talk about, and I didn't think of this. Somebody mentioned it in the chat, and I keep forgetting about this player, Freeman McNeil. He was unbelievable. He played all 12 years with the Jets.
Yep. He's on the Mount
Only team
Rushmore
he
of
ever
running
played
backs.
for. He led the league in rushing one year. He made 3 Pro Bowls. He was an awesome player. Definitely somebody we should at least mention for the Mount Rushmore.
He is on the Mount Rushmore. Someone asked about Jet running backs for that specific category of Mount Rushmore, and I had Martin, McNeil, Emerson Boozer, and Matt Snell as my 4.
Yeah. That's I mean, like it's such an open debate. It's unbelievable. It's such a good topic for a June Jets show, you know.
So I just looked that up on PFR, and those are the top 4 in Jets history. It's Curtis Martin with 10,300 yards, Freeman McNeil with just over 8,000, Boozer with 5,100, and Snell with 4,200, and then Johnny Hector is number 5.
Yeah, I mean, to me, those are the first 4 that came to mind. Freeman McNeil's unbelievable football player. Kind of gets lost in the 80s with all the attention on the sack exchange, but
Yeah.
outstanding player.
There's a case for Riggins now that I'm looking at it. He played 61 games for the Jets, and he had 3,880 yards. So only 405 less than Matt Snell, who played 25 games more than Riggins. So Riggins was definitely the more efficient runner. It's just the longevity of the Jets' career with him doesn't, and he had 22 fumbles, so that's kind of a lot for 61 games.
AG's Burner says Thomas Jones wasn't a Jet long, but he did lead the league in rushing. Thomas Jones was an awesome Jet, one of my favorites. He's been on the show a few times, great guy. He wasn't a Jet long enough, but as far as like some of my personal favorite Jets, since I've been a fan, he's right there. I mean, he was an awesome player.
Yeah. He's 7th on the list in terms of rushing yards, right behind Riggins, and then right ahead of Bilal Powell. So, yeah, Thomas Jones, Bilal Powell, Chris Ivory, those are like the new age running backs that like I would point to as like some of my favorites to watch.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Chris Ivory.
Yeah, because they don't know how to freaking do math.
That's right. That's right with
nothing
Breece.
to do with Breece could have done it. It's just they don't know how to do math.
Good call by Artie. Pool call. So we'll give him 2 raffle tickets. We lost connection from him mid-call there. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've all waited long enough. I have a very important update I want to share before we say hello to Mr. Beastbreaker himself. Beast sent me an email. Not that. He goes, my sister-in-law. Hold on. Tough to translate Beast here. My sister-in-law, her mom in hospital, her kidneys and blood sugar went down. Very bad. Second show, I'll be watching. And first show, I was talking to my manager, Betsy, who controls my music tour. It was business as usual. For those who didn't see the first show today, we went to Beast at the end, and he appeared to be on the phone with a woman. He was telling this woman that he dominated 6 rings on the air, and that's all we know. Ladies and gentlemen, we hopefully will find out more on what the latest is with this mysterious woman now.
Draw. I said draw. It's like a shit. I thought we could settle this like men on the battlefield. It's like I feel like I'm in a Western movie right now, except I don't have a cowboy hat and a cowboy shirt. I'm going, what'll be, stranger? And yes, Betsy is my tour manager when it comes to music. That's only for the holidays. That's around Christmas time. But I'm not gonna talk about that right now because it's piping hot, and I'm like, I'm trying to stay away from that heat because that heat will kick your ass today. Boy, oh boy, is it ever gonna kick your ass. And Dylan, you said you had a power outage yesterday. How long was that power out for?
Dylan, you're on mute.
Sorry, Beast. Yeah, we had a power outage at 6:45 last night, and it came back on around 7:45 this morning.
So you were down 13 hours.
Yep.
Jeez. Did you check? Did you contact your power source company that
Duke Energy texts me when it happens. They tell me when the power outage is out. They tell me why. They tell me how long until it's coming back. They originally told me noon today. So it was going to be like closer to 18 hours. And then I woke up and the thing said 7:45, but I'd already left for work. So when I got home today at like 3:00, I was just hoping that my lights were on so I could do the show with Jake. I didn't want to text him and be like, hey, no power still. So glad it came back on, but it was definitely tough sleeping last night.
Hey, Beast. Wow. How long have you got a tour manager for? This is news to us. We've never heard of this.
For many years. I mean, I've been doing this since '99, and thing is, I'm already a pro. I'm already a pro guitarist. I've been doing this for almost 25 years. You know, the thing is, I've already accomplished what I've wanted, and this is.
Have you ever played the Garden?
Well, I'm hoping to play at the Garden that day. Hey, Madison Square Garden would be the next place because you know how many stars have gone to Madison Square Garden. I'm gonna give you the likes. The great George Carlin, great guy. Rest in peace. God bless his soul. Metallica's played there. Megadeth's played there. Motorhead's played there. A lot of WWF qualities played there. The U.S. Open's been there. The Westminster Kennel Dog Show. The NBA draft. The NFL draft. How do you think that garden is famous? Because it's been there since 1930. It was built in 1930, and a lot of great things has happened in that garden. The Knicks have won 2 NBA championships out of that building. The '94 Rangers won the Stanley Cup out of that building. Also, the great fights between the Bulls and the Knicks and the Heat. Anybody who's known that place is a gold mine. And that is always going to be a gold mine for years to come. Somewhere down the road, 100 years from now, people.
Peace.
Uh-oh.
Peace.
I was just going to add another legendary venue to Beast's hopeful music tour so that he could hit it, but seems like we lost him.
I noticed that he changed his sub handle, like the name tag. It now says proud Hogwarts graduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I found that interesting. This was also sent to me earlier, an official letter from Hogwarts addressed to Beastbreaker confirming that he did in fact go there.
I was going to say the Three Broomsticks in Hogsmeade is actually a wonderful venue for your music. I think the acoustics would work out well there. So,
man,
I think this whole series is funny. He doesn't like Harry Potter, but he likes Star Wars. And I'm not saying they're the same, but if you're going to lean into like the fictional stuff, I mean, Harry Potter is like the best one you can really lean into, right?
I guess he thinks it's not manly enough to be a Harry Potter fan. I don't know.
Hey, that's fine.
Big fella with a super chat for us. One of these days, I may fly to Chicago to see if Beast is real. We could get tacos.
He could make you food on his grill, big fella.
Now, Dylan, did you see the bag of dicks incident that happened?
Yeah, him throwing the bag of dicks out the window.
Do you think that was a big-time practical joke by big fella, or did he take things too far?
Did Big Fella take it too far? No, that's fine.
Big Fella was the one who gifted Beast the bag of dicks.
What's the reasoning behind the bag of dicks? Just cause it was a funny snack to put in there?
Some midweek hilarity.
Oh, okay. I must have missed the reasoning behind the bag of dicks, but Beast threw it out the window and then walked out of the lair to go get them again. Like they're sitting back on his desk. We know that.
For those who missed it, here's a quick clip on what it looked like.
What in the hell is this?
Have some candy.
Beast, you know it's a joke, right?
Beast, I'll eat it with you.
Throw the bag of dicks out the window.
Throw the bag of dicks.
Get back to work. Come on. Free those dicks. Let them fly.
Oh, my God.
Sacagawea.
You let that dick fly. You feel better? Ooh. Is that the first time your hand was on a bunch of dicks?
Oh, no. I'm going to go have a sausage sandwich and enjoy the rest of my day.
Him saying he's never held a bunch of dicks and then saying, I'm going to go eat a sausage sandwich. It's not... something's not adding up, Beast. You've had dicks in your hand before. We know this.
Roseanne says, why would he waste a perfectly good bag of dicks? That's what I'm thinking too, Roseanne.
I'm saying, man. They looked like they were enjoyable. They were multicolored. Small enough to enjoy when you're not going to overindulge.
Daz checks in. As we know, I'm from the UK and I can confirm Beast did attend Hogwarts. I saw him running into the wall in King's Cross Station.
Yep.
Wow.
Platform 9 3/4 is Beast's second home.
Now, for what it's worth, I mean, there was this photo that was surfacing around of Beast getting ready for a Quidditch match. Man.
Is he the seeker? Is he going after the snitch, or is he more of like the bludger guy? I think he should just play goalie. Honestly, you just occupy a lot of space. Nobody's throwing it between the rings if Beast and Little Joey are sitting in the net. So
I thought Little Joey was like what's the title? The position you just said it?
The seeker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be cool if he just like used Little Joey as the seeker when he got close to the snitch. He's like, go. Yeah, that'd be cool. I did like the picture of him on the hippogriff, though. I know he called it a pigeon, but the hippogriff picture was really cool.
Let me see if I had that. Yeah, obviously this is completely real and not ChatGPT or grokked. Here
Absolutely
it is.
not.
Yep.
That's perfect. Him and Buckbeak would get along.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, we asked this man to call back in after he applied for a job at Costco. And guess what? He's back.
Excuse me. I just applied to Costco for cashier clerk in the front. Cashier. So I've always wanted to work cashier at one of those retail places. So I submitted my application. I should hear back within 60 days or so.
60 days? What?
No.
I'm sorry, 60 days. I'm sorry. They'll keep my file for 60 days. My bad.
Yeah. You should hear back from them in 72 hours, Charles.
60 days. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. Anyway, so what did I miss? Other than Beast being auditioning for Harry Potter.
Yeah, what's your take? Did he go to Hogwarts, yes or no?
I don't know. If he did, God bless him. I love Hogwarts. I'm kind of jealous. I always loved Harry Potter franchise. I always loved magic. I like science too, but I always had a soft spot for magic.
What's your favorite Potter movie?
They're all fantastic films, but I would have to say The Prisoner of Azkaban. That movie was dope.
Charles. Hell yeah, Charles. That's the best one.
You know, the guy that played the werewolf guy in Harry Potter, in the Harry Potter movies, played Ares, the God of War, in the 2017 Wonder Woman film.
You talking about Remus Lupin?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a good Ares.
Too
bad he was wasted in the movie, but that's a different story for another time.
Hey, Charles, give me a little Harry Potter. You got a wand?
I got an empty bottle.
All right, that works.
LaGuardia Leviosa.
Wingardium.
Wingardium.
That's
Wingardium Leviosa. Super 5.
Mr. Flitwick will teach you how to swish and flick.
Swish and flick, yes.
There it is.
I'm starting to get concerned about Beast, guys. He hasn't called back in.
Maybe the layer just fried up. Everything's got too hot.
Poor guy. He's been doing enough bullshit.
He was talking about how hot it is, man. My car temperature said 113 when I got in it after work yesterday.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You poor thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been dying to know where this guy went. And speak of the devil, the return of the Beast.
You know what time it is? A Beast Breaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Beast? Beast, you're on mute. Beast?
I seen that crap. You think I'm gonna buy that the holy old nonsense? You think I'm playing with you? Look, my sister-in-law, her mom's in the hospital. Very low blood pressure, low on the sugar, everything low. It's like, oh shit. That's not a good sign. No.
What does that have to do with Hogwarts?
Am I not gonna tell you again? Cut that bullshit with me. I'm not gonna tell you again. Enough is enough with this. I got enough fucking problems going on. Yo, you think I'm worried right now about my sister-in-law? I got more problems to worry about. This is a crock of shit. Already? Enough.
There's a really good healing spell. There's a good healing spell that's called
Episky,
and it might help.
I don't give a rat's piss bucket about that shit.
Whoa.
What's
a rat's piss bucket?
I have enough on my freaking plate right now because my sister-in-law her mother's in the hospital right now. I'm worried shitless right now because we don't know what's going to happen right now. That's more important than stupid shit.
Beast, can you explain this letter? Where did it come from?
Jake, just let him go. Let it go.
Dude, enough of the crock of shit already. This is bloated nonsense. If you want bloated nonsense, watch Disney. But if you want to be real, get real with me.
What's your favorite Disney show?
I was a 90s guy. 90s guy. Get that straight, meathead. Look, I'm in a very tight mood right now. I just had to refix my PC.
You seem relaxed.
I just had to fix my PC.
I could tell it overheated. Too much passion on that end.
Yeah, oh, I don't even use this thing like I used to. Let me run it by you. It's 95 degrees, and you wonder why I'm trying to stay out of the heat. I'm trying to, live a decent life. But no. I gotta deal with BS of this hot Harry Potter nonsense. Look, I'm not into crap like this. I watch Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Terminator, and Braveheart. I like gore movies, blood. I don't watch trash heap.
Harry Potter's a great franchise. You're missing out.
Mark scenes in the last 3 to 5 movies there.
He's entitled to his opinion, guys. Everyone has their own taste.
You know what? In the words of The Rock, hey, let me give you a little history lesson. I don't give a bottle's nutsack about that shit. Okay?
Whoa. No one needs to be talking about any nutsacks around here.
You're making me very frustrated. You're putting
it's hot enough.
I'm not interested in. Holy crap. Unreal. And you wonder why I gave up drinking, huh? 3 years I've given it up. I don't drink. I don't do other things. But there's one thing I have a passion for. When it comes to ganja, that's my cool-off period.
Really?
That's my cool. You know why?
You're smoking cigarettes, Beast.
No, ganja. Ganja's been a help for 2,000 years. It's
Really?
been around for quite some time.
When was the last time you smoked ganja?
It's been a while. It's a good help. You know what also gets rid of too?
Maybe you need it.
It gets rid of. Would you listen first? It gets rid of problems.
Hey, put your light on. We can't see you.
It gets rid of bullshit. It gets rid of the nonsense.
Put your light on. It's tough to see you.
Oh,
really?
Not you, Charles. Talking to Beast.
I think you and I should sit down and smoke together, Beast, and just relax.
That actually would be great. And then
I know we're getting you fired up with the whole Harry Potter thing, but maybe a nice little.
It's gone way too far. Too far over the line. I also watch Gordon Ramsay. I watch Emma Lagasse. I watch Jeff Smith. I also watch other great cooking shows to get a peace of mind. I like to enjoy those times because there's not going to be many times like this left in the world left. So, for the love of God, no more. No.
Bill M just wrote Hogwarts. He thinks
Bill
he went
M,
there.
Go suck a dingleberry.
Whoa. No one needs to suck anything around here.
I'm done.
I'm sucking a lollipop.
A lollipop will be good, Gorman. You got any for Beast?
No, I got none.
I got my charms. I got my charms.
Lucky Charms?
You've heard
no,
of
Charms is a lollipop brand.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
I
one
like
with the
Tootsie
bubble
Pop
gum
too.
inside, right?
You can get those at Dollar Tree for $1.25.
That's not bad.
Dollar Tree, is it really? It's like the $1.25 tree now.
Beast, New Q says you put the hog in Hogwarts.
Oh, did he freeze like that? That's epic.
Oh, I thought he was just selling it.
Yeah, there's no way he could stay that still.
It's a top freeze frame of all time.
This is perfect.
So, Jake, can we go back to the Mount Rushmore or no?
Charles, I love this. You get the train right back on track.
You're just dying to give a Mount Rushmore point, Charles. So let's do your
So the
Mount Rushmore point.
of defense, I have Revis and Klecko, then Jerry Philbin, then I would add Larry Grantham.
Okay, that's fair. Those are all good names to invoke here.
And as for the Mount Rushmore of offense, obviously you got to put Namath and Maynard. Then Curtis Martin because he's the all-time rusher in the history of the franchise. Now, this one may surprise you guys, but I'm also going to add Wesley Walker up there. And I'm going to say that because he had a disability. You know, he had visual impairment. He was legally blind in one eye. Yet for him to do what he did in the 12, 13-year period, I think is extraordinary.
Charles, give us your Mount Rushmore of jobs you're currently pursuing.
Is there 4? I think there's only 3.
I would like to apply to a comic book store. GameStop already applied to.
You keep saying you'd like to apply. What is stopping you from doing that, like tomorrow, for example?
Willpower.
No, it's that if they're, well, I'm trying to see, well, they're all, a lot of the comic books that I looked up are all long distance.
Like, this doesn't sound like a multi-day process to look up some places to apply. It sounds like you can knock this out if you are efficient in a couple hours.
Yeah, if you open Google Maps and just look around at some of the dots on the map and just click on them and find their website and apply, I think it would be a lot easier of a process. Okay, I guess this is important, Charles. How far are you willing to walk to work?
Depends on the distance.
That's what he's literally asking you.
To give me the distance of how far you would walk. A mile?
A 15-minute walk isn't too bad. A 15-minute walk isn't too bad.
Okay, that doesn't really help because I don't know how fast or slow you walk. So I'm going to say a half a mile.
About a mile and a half.
You'd walk a mile and a half to get to work.
Yeah, I've walked a lot when I was with the Boy Scouts, yeah.
All right. I'm going to get Jake to give me your address, and I'm going to look at places, and I'm going to spam you with websites of places to apply to within a mile and a half of your residence, okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
Gator
I want you to
says-
get a job before Bobby. Man.
Need to make
I really
my
want you to get a
Rushmore
job.
piece by Charles for not having a job yet. I love how you guys really care for me. I really love that.
Peter Castro says, Charles, how come you're not looking for a job? Way to be
I
on
just
topic.
applied to a freaking job.
Is that the only job you applied to today? I know the answer already, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
It's the only job I applied to today, the Costco one. Yes, I was going to apply to the AMC Theaters one after I come back and make call.
I was going to say, definitely get at least one more application in today. And then honestly, strive for 1 or 2 per day. I mean, it's hard to, apply to one job and then just sit and wait for them to, because then you put the ball in their court. Like, take the ball back, Charles. You own the court. You gotta find the job yourself. You know what I mean?
I 100% agree with that. Yes.
Roseanne says, Charles, how much more motivation do you need to get a job? What do you have in mind, Roseanne? Hey, now.
Oh.
Come on, guys. Let's be real.
Calm your freaky down.
My thoughts exactly.
Johnny Boy says male stripper in the chat. You ever think about applying as one of those? You like to take your shirt off, whether it's on stream or I guess in person too, right?
Depends on the person, depends on the circumstance.
Room full of lovely ladies, and that shirt comes off real quick, and you show that clean shaven chest of yours, right?
Charles will get a job after he's finished eating all the food in New Jersey.
I'm gonna eat all the food in New Jersey. Stop it.
All right, why don't we do this? Good topic here. This is peak Jets off season here, June 26th, all that. Mount Rushmore of all the restaurants you've eaten at, but not ever. Let's just do the last 2 weeks.
Friendly, Colonia Pizza, Rocco's, and the Rio.
See, if you applied to jobs as quickly as you gave that answer, dude, you'd be off that mountain so fast.
I know.
You don't know.
I'm just asking. Have you had a job before?
Yes, I've worked 3 years ago at DSW Shoes Incorporated.
Okay. How long did you work there?
About a year.
Okay. So there is potential for you to hold the job if you get the job. It's just
Yes.
It's just finding the job that is the hard part for you. You can stay at the job, right? If you get the job, you're going to show up and work every day.
Oh, of course, I always show up on time. I never showed up late.
Okay. Well, that's good at least. It's just
As they say,
3
the
years
universe
is a
is one, right?
long time. 3 years is a long time to be out of work.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons why a lot of times I'm depressed and miserable and grunchy and grouchy and shit.
That's why we're trying to push you to get a job, because we know it'll be good for you.
Financial freedom, man. I mean, as a man in this world, financial freedom is like what we seek, right? You know, we want to be able to take care of our families. That's why I moved down here. That's why I moved 600 miles away from New Jersey, so I could find that financial freedom for myself. And I have to admit, it is it's a good feeling when you're able to do what you want with your own money, right?
Yeah, of course, with my own money, of course.
Yeah.
Ricky writes in, Harry Pot Roast and the Gabagool of Fire. I'm assuming this stars Beast Breaker. Is that the joke? Dun-dun-dun.
Oh, God.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone wants to know where Beast is. And guess what? I have the answer. Beast, welcome back. You're on mute.
Okay, okay. What do we got here? I'm not.
I don't know. You called back.
We had a problem. My computer is not overheated. It's fine. It's just we have them days where it just likes to do stupid things, and it's called stupid people like to do stupid shit.
Jay would like you to unblock him.
Hey. A while back, you were kissing somebody's you know what. Until you earn all my power, you're gonna have to earn it the hard way. And I'm talking the hard way. I'm Clint Eastwood. Just remember that. I'm like Clint Eastwood. Go ahead. Yeah, that's right. You know who I'm talking about. Go ahead. Make my day.
Oh, man. Hopefully not Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood.
No, not Gran Torino. Try 1983's classic, where he's in San Francisco and he got some of them guys and just said, "Go ahead, make my day."
Do they call you Clint Beastwood?
I said that. Eastwood. Let me see one of these.
I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan.
Clean it out
Gran
once.
Torino's a great movie, in my opinion.
Thank you, Charles.
What was that for, Beast? What was that cotton swab for?
Clean out the ears once in a while. Get the earwax out of the ears. I did that a couple days ago with a little help with yeah,
Twins.
that's right. Yep.
I don't have mine near me.
What do you have to do, Charles? Apply for jobs?
You take care, Charles.
I'm gonna apply for more jobs, man. Peace out.
I'll believe it when I see it.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Wait, Beast, you have Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol on your desk right now.
It works. It works like a charm.
On what, though? What are you cleaning?
The ears. It gets all the wax out.
Opal in your ears?
Not that. All the garbage, like earwax.
No, I
get the whole of it, and then out it goes.
But what's the isopropyl alcohol for? Because I have Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol.
That's for the Q-tip, my friend. All you gotta do is put a little on there, and boom, and then you're good.
So you put the alcohol in your ear.
No, I put it on the Q-tip, then switch it around, then get in there, clean the crap out of there. That's easy. That's simple, easy thumbnail shit to do. It's easy stuff. Come on, I was gonna say, 'cause I use it.
I have Q-tips and isopropyl to clean my glass pieces when they get a little dirty from certain smoke things. But
hey, in the
I don't
words
put
of the
isopropyl in my ear.
You'll thank me tomorrow.
Hey.
Just remember that. And I still got my high school lock from high school. I still got this little thing.
That's your lock from your locker in high school 20 years ago, Beast?
Yeah, that's right. I figure I know my lock very, very well. So easy.
Rick Kent says that you are the last person he'd take hygiene advice from, Beast.
Hey, what you see is what you get.
I'm a little weary about the alcohol in the ear thing.
Just rub it, take the thing like this, swish it in there with the alcohol, and then get it in there. Not gonna be hard. Simple shit. Simple.
Roseanne says that's the lock from the cage he keeps his hostages in.
Seriously, Roseanne,
door for the Sorcerer's Stone.
You putz. What kind of Kaputski are you? Are you kidding me? You know, I feel like that. There's a guy right now. Hey, Castro, I got nothing to say to you. You will get DDT'd, Jake style. And just remember these words: come around this tree. Come on, come around this tree, and see if old Damien don't come out. Trust me.
Come rattle this tree.
Yeah, come around this tree. Come on, come around this tree. See if old Damien don't come out. Trust me. Trust me.
Oh, do we lose him again?
Did he freeze? Now this is a great image as well that I'd imagine will be used.
StreamYard is giving us all the best beast screenshots that you could possibly have.
We've got 2 iconic beast screenshots. Have fun, chat. I'm sure I'll be receiving plenty of messages of different ChatGPT creations. Man. What a moment. All right, Dylan, feel free to leave at any point. Home stretch here. A couple calls left. I'm compiling the names for the raffle real quick. Craig in Australia with a super chat. Charles, would you be prepared to commute 30 hours each way for a job? We could use you in the OR, or you could be my co-pilot. Wow. Craig and Charles Gorman flying the skies of Australia together.
He's an actual pilot?
Craig is an actual pilot.
Oh, shoot.
He's got his license and everything. He's called in a couple times from the plane, which is sick.
Oh, that's awesome.
It would be quite fascinating if Charles did take that job. The concern I would have is Craig flies these very small planes, one Gorman blast, and that thing's going down.
Oh, is it the planes that like you just have 2 people like sitting behind each other, or like just 2 people sitting next to each other and that's it? It's like one of those like it's not like a legit aircraft carrier, like a whatever they're called. 747 or whatever.
Yeah, I think Craig could fly all that, but I think his personal planes that he's flying around are those smaller ones.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Gorman in there. That's like the Mile High Dutch oven that nobody wants.
The Mile High Dutch oven. All right, 2 calls left here. Last chance to get in the raffle. Super Bowl 3. Joe Namath replica ring. We'll give that away. If you don't win, you still got a chance to win any of our weekly prizes on Monday. Signed Glenn jersey, signed Fields jersey, signed Sauce jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to say hello to David T.
I've got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, guys.
David.
Hey, Dylan, you're my favorite, and, it is what it is.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm losing my train of thought already. That's not good. Well, you have to understand I'm a little older. But, but I really appreciate you guys paying tribute to the older Jets players. My favorite all-time offensive lineman, Winston Hill, and I can't remember all the goes intos or whatever, but what a fabulous player. So my hope for you young fellas, 20 years from now, you guys can look back, maybe some championships and some younger Jets, podcasters or whatever, talking about the older players, and hopefully, there's good things to come. Hopefully there's some championships to come.
David, did you cut yourself? The chat is speculating on a new cut.
I did. You guys are crazy. I did cut myself too. I nick myself every time. What can I say?
You went a little
not like Charles though, But I'll survive. Okay. I'll survive.
David T, if I remember correctly, you're going to Tampa, right?
Yes, sir. And if I remember correctly, you had said you're going.
I am. I have to get my hotel still, but everything else is in line for me to go to Tampa.
I would love to meet you, sir.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
David,
All right.
take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah, you guys take care too.
There you go. Don't move.
Oh shit, you're not kidding.
Never want to go full Gorman. Unreal.
Man.
All right. I said we were going to do 2 more calls, but then Yeti's like, let me call in. Yeti,
Dude.
you got 10 seconds because I got Chef Kevin to close us out here.
Dude, give it to Chef Kev. I was just calling him for the F of it. Sorry, man. He wanted to see Danny Hurt again.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty. I'm putting you in the raffle anyway.
You get the fuck out.
You know, as I was saying that, Elijah Moore is also on the line. Elijah Moore, go ahead. You.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I was just trying to get into the raffle real quick and check in on V-Man.
You get the fuck out.
I'll get you in the raffle as well. All right. Chef Kevin, close us out.
Yo, man, Jake, Dylan, what up, guys, man? Y'all incredible.
How's it going, Chef?
Hey, chilling, man. I'm just waiting for my sandwich right now. I just got back from Disney a couple days ago, and I heard on my way driving into my sandwich spot, I heard the whole Harry Potter stuff, where it's like, yo, I dig Harry Potter, man. I've seen a couple of the movies. My son, he's been to a couple of Harry Potter themed parties and all that. We went on a couple of Harry Potter rides, so I was really feeling it, man. I'm more into like the Star Wars, you know, the other kind of stuff. But Harry Potter, yo, got some hits, man. That franchise, man. We went to Epic Universe too. It just opened up a month ago down there in Epic Universe. Harry Potter, like that universe area, yo, they killed it, man. They did a hell of a job. So I mean, it's crazy. I'm calling into Jake's Jet show, you know, talking about the Harry Potter stuff, but that's what that's what, you know, the versatility, man, of you, Jake, man, just being able to, you know, adapt during these slow times. I mean, I remember last off season, man, Gary for the most part, man, Gary and Scott, those two, they helped carry us, man. The chicken and pasta stuff, man. Scott with the ducks and allegedly being involved in some, you know, criminal activities with the restaurant. Like that stuff really helped propel us, man, into training camp. So, you know, I appreciate y'all for real. For the Jet stuff, man, to be honest, I don't really have much, man. I'm just really patiently just waiting on just the signings of Garrett and Sauce, man. Those are two that we really need to make sure that we solidify before we really go into training camp, man. Once we get them signed, because then the conversations really can get in depth with just how much we're giving them and for how long. Because there, I really feel like we could really shape up the roster properly moving forward once we lock them down, because the price is only going to go up. And just knowing about Aaron Glenn and what he's really trying to do at this point, man, I really feel like Sauce is going to be a key focal point, man, on that defense. And if that's how you're going to really kind of value him and the position, then you got to pay him. You can't wait. And especially with Jamar Chase getting his kind of money, like what, like, you know, let's go. Let's get this guy paid. He wants to be here. He's done everything that we asked him to do without really great quarterback play, man. I mean, and you saw last year with Rodgers, once his man Adams came here, like G-Dub, man, he was almost like an afterthought, man. He wasn't really much of a focal point. There was times where you see him open and Rodgers isn't really looking his way. So, you know, for right now, knowing that Fields and him, they're in sync, man, knowing that he's going to get a lot of production. If they don't get him now, man, I only see us overpaying and overreaching in the offseason next season once we go through this production. So I don't really see, you know, what's the wait. I almost feel like it's some posturing, just waiting until then. They're not holding out. I don't see that scenario happening. So just kind of, you know, at this point, I'm just kind of waiting. Dylan, if you don't mind, I didn't really catch too much prior. What do you feel like it's really important, like it's really crucial to get this stuff done before training camp, or you don't really see much of an issue with that?
No, it needs to be 10 out of 10. It has to be priority number one before they start camp. I know the rookies report on July 19th, veterans report July 22nd. Both of those guys need to have new deals at that point. And I know there's going to be Jets fans that, you know, hem and haw over whatever number it is that Sauce and Garrett get. I think it should be $31 million, like we talked about earlier in the show. But next year, like you said, if you don't pay them and they do well, how much more is that going to cost them? So for the Jets fans that say that they don't deserve the money at 31 million per this year, next year it could be 34 or 35 million per for each of those guys. And now you're wasting $6 to $8 million when you should have just got out ahead of it. And by the time 2 or 3 more guys at their position get paid, it's going to look like a steal to me. Sauce is going to be like the 5th or 6th highest paid corner in 2 or 3 years. I know Christian Gonzalez is going to get a deal soon. So it's like those guys are going to take over the top dollar amount, but we're going to have the guy who's the top at the position theoretically. So yeah, I agree. This needs to get done before camp even starts. Not because I think they're going to hold out, but just for the sake of, we need good spirits, going into training camp. We need to be on a positive, on a high swing. We can't just have, 2 of our best players as question marks of what is the long-term future of these guys. And then you add in Breece and Jermaine too, the other 2022 guys. And it's like, those 4 could be our core if they hit the ground running under Glenn and Muji, and obviously Engstrand and Wilkes. So yeah, to me, that's priority number 1, is securing your young, good players like Glenn has been talking about. Now it's time to put the pen to paper and get these guys signed and happy.
The only thing I disagree with is that I just want it done by the regular season. It can go into training camp. We see that a lot around the league, and you can still get a deal done. So to me, just should be a priority to get done before the opener. But obviously, ideal scenario before training camp, you have that fun joint press conference. Great moment for the fan base that is invested in these players. Every young kid, Chef Kevin, yourself included with your fam, you're now comfortable getting the Sauce and Garrett jersey for your son or daughter because you know they're going to be here long term.
Yeah, it creates less move in silence if we get into training camp and the Adam Schefters of the world who can't get a call back are talking about why aren't the Jets paying their top guys that deserve all this money. Like, just get out ahead of all that so you can continue to move in silence throughout training camp. That would be the reason for getting it done before preseason.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job so far, basically like kind of staying out of the public eye with whatever kind of gossip stuff. So, hats off to them. I know you guys got to wrap up. So Dylan, thank you, Jake, man, as always. Solid stuff. I wasn't really able to catch a lot of your live stuff. But dude, man, you're the best in the biz, man, just with the no days off, just keeping on plugging, giving us content, amazing shows. I'm gonna see you and the other Asmaniacs on Sunday when these Yankees get the dub, man. Salute to you, the Asmaniacs. Let's go Jets.
Let's go, Chef Kev. See you Sunday.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Love that, Chef Kevin. I saw accepted his ticket transfers for him and his fam, so looking forward to seeing Chef Kev in the Bronx Sunday. All right, Dylan, I appreciate nearly 2 hours of your time. I'm going to do the raffle shortly. These last 2 super chats, and then it's raffle time. Mr. Weed says, base jamming alcohol and Q-tips in his ears would explain a lot about his mental condition.
I don't trust that method. I'm not putting isopropyl alcohol in my ears, in any body part. Like, no, that's like taking an acetone shower when you have like a cut or scrape. Like,
it's an old magic trick at Hogwarts, apparently. I don't know.
Just do the spell Episky and all your ailments will be gone, Beast. You know this. You've learned these.
Sam with a super chat. Several Asmaniacs are hiring managers. Why not use that connection? I mean, Chef
That'd
Kevin.
Be too easy, Sam.
Well, yes. And Chef Kevin, who was just on the phone with us, he offered Charles Gorman a job at the restaurant that Chef Kev is the lead chef at, Cloverleaf Tavern in Jersey. So shout out to Cloverleaf and Chef Kev. And Gorman, because he doesn't drive, it was too far. He couldn't do it. But like, that's the other thing too. Gorman not being someone that could drive because he's like afraid of driving.
Oh, he's afraid of driving. It's not just like I haven't done it because I'm lazy.
That's what he said.
Afford a car.
Yeah, no, he's just said he's afraid of driving. He said that on the show before.
Okay, that's a bigger hurdle than the job stuff. That might need to be a 3 or 4 hour show for that one. But that's
what I had planned for July. Don't worry.
Get us through a whole week of July.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is raffle time. Thank you to everyone who gifted. It is time to find out who's going to get a replica Super Bowl III championship ring right after this.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Music, please. Here we go. Wheel of Champions. It's on the screen. Thanks to everyone who entered. If you don't win, it's all good. You still got a chance to win any of our weekly raffle prizes. And we're targeting Monday. for our upcoming raffle. Here we go. One spin to decide it all. The winner is listener Janice Jet. Shout out to Janice. She's joining us in Tampa. Can't wait to meet her and her family. They're all coming to our event. So a great Jet fan, long-time Jet fan, winning a very cool prize for the Jet family household. Congrats, Janice. Your 10 memberships got you the prize. You were the first to do it. So sometimes it's the first person in that gives you a chance to do it. Congratulations to Janice Jet. Again, thank you to everyone. And Dylan, thank you, man. 2 hours. Damn. I appreciate your time, dude.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, you guys make it so easy. Like, time just flies when I'm with you and the Asmaniacs. It's going to be – that's what makes me so happy for Tampa Bay. Like, I'm so excited for that weekend. I wish I could stay in Florida a little bit longer to hang out more, like, after the game and stuff. But I'm really excited, man. You guys are A1.
Plug the channel on the way out. I'm going to post a link again in the live chat. What can people expect on Dylan Tereman's YouTube channel this week?
Absolutely, yeah. It's at Dylan Tereman, as you see on the screen here. I'm doing my summer ranking series. I'm trying to schedule it all out to bring me up right up until the team gets back for training camp. So I did the roster rankings already. I have that video planned out. I have the AFC East divisional rankings. I'm going to stack the Jets up position by position against the 3 teams in the AFC East. And then I do have a special Lenoris Sellers film breakdown coming
already
because I can't control myself. And I think Lenoris is going to be great for South Carolina. But the big homework for me this week is reading these 2 books that I just got. If anybody knows Bobby Peters on Twitter, he puts out these game plan guides, and I'm going to study up as much as I can on the 2024 Commanders and 23 Lions, see what the Jets can do on offense to help bring this into a more modern offense in the year 2025. We can actually go to where football is going. And that's going to help with my play charting as well, which I'm sure some people are aware of the play charting I do for the Jets. So really excited to get my summer reading on, but I have so much content at Dylan Tereman on YouTube. I have at least 1 video per week ready, scheduled up until training camp. So we're hitting the grindstone in the slow season, and we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the home opener. We're at we're at like 450. So I know, and the Asmaniacs need to, help out a little
more,
bit.
And you could get super chats and memberships on your channel. So everyone go subscribe. 1,000, he actually could get YouTube to start paying him for ads on his channel. 500, he could get super chat and membership revenue. So go support Dylan. Subscribe to his channel. I just posted the link in the chat. Do it right now. It takes 2 seconds, and Dylan deserves it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Asmaniacs, you guys are A1 in the chat always. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, at Dylan Tereman. Come subscribe and join along.
He's Dylan. I'm Jake. We're back tomorrow. I have a special guest that this audience I think is going to like. He's been on the show before, but it's been a while. That's all I'm going to say for right now. So we'll have a show in the morning, a show in the afternoon. There'll be a football Friday, even in June. Hope everyone has a tremendous evening. And since this show was dominated by Charles Gorman, there's a video I must play on the way out of here. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Thursday.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alan, go fuck yourself.